Come with me to a magical place where being labeled the pork queen is a compliment, where being nice is just a way of life, and where all leaders of the free world must pass through. Welcome to Iowa. Whether you're a current Iowan, an Iowa expat, or an Iowan at heart, this show is for you. This is the Iowa Podcast. Real Iowans, real talk, no drama. I'm Justin Brady from the Jethro's Barbecue Studio. What's going on in Madison County? People are coming, they're painting, there are all these weird rules. All these artists are going to come to Madison County, have to be outside, you're on a time limit. Sounds kind of weird, so we're going to get into it today and figure out what the heck is going on over in Madison County. And to do that, Sarah Pugh, the executive director of the Madison County Chamber of Commerce, joins us to talk about. And now the first thing we're going to do is you're going to help me on my pronunciation of this, but the Plein Air, Madison County, which means something. Don't give it away. First, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
As a reminder, everybody, Jethro's Barbecue, if you want a $30 gift card for them to just give it to you, seriously, they'll just give you a $30 gift card, go to iowapodcast.com, scroll to the top, click the banner up there with the cool little Jethro's logo on it. Go buy yourself a gift card for $100, and then they'll just give you a $30 gift card. We talked to Bruce over there, and we're like, dude, you got to do something fun for people if you're going to sponsor this show. He says, let's give people $30 gift cards. Well, that's pretty good. How many bourbons can you get with that? Bourbon and chicken? That's what I always get. So, Sarah, thanks so much for coming in here. The Plein Air, how do you pronounce this first of all? And then like a 30,000-foot view, what is it?
Yes, the Plein Air Art Festival.
Plein Air.
Yes, it's where artists gather. We disclose a location the day of when they check in. We stamp their canvases and we send them out across Madison County to paint for the day. They paint from 9 to 1, so just 4 short hours. And then they frame and get their artwork ready to present and to sell that evening at a reception. So it's a very quick artwork demonstration and sale all in one day.
Okay, that was very succinct. You're mentioning first of all, who are these artists and how did you find them? They're coming to paint Madison County, the area. There are a lot of questions to unpack there. First of all, where are these artists coming from and why are they coming?
Yeah, these artists come from all over Iowa. We have artists from Waukee, Ankeny, Baxter, Oskaloosa, Winterset. We have hobby artists all the way up to professional artists coming to either dabble in the plein air art world or to really showcase what art they can create.
Got it. Okay. And so they're all Iowa based. You mentioned when they get there, you stamp their canvases.
Yes.
What does that mean? It's like restricting them to certain areas or something?
Yes. So when they check in, we disclose the locations that we have approval for them to be at for that day. Mm-hmm. Then from there, we stamp the back of their canvas to prove that we looked at that canvas. There's no pencil marks. There's no pre-sketching. Oh. So when we stamp that, you have the approval to sell this work of art. So at the end of the day, when they come back, we know we only stamped 3 for that artist, but they came back with 4. So they might have an extra piece from another event or something, but that's separate from our plein air festival event.
Okay, so part of it is to discourage like cheating, kind of.
Yes.
Like you don't want people to get an unfair advantage and be ahead of the other artists. If you're going to come in and paint this plein air event, we have to make sure that all your work was done in the time frame allowed, and it's just paint, right?
Yes. Yep.
So then they're going to sell them there's going to be an event, they're going to sell them. Why so many rules? Like sometimes we think artists, they want to take their time and expression. Like people don't understand what artists do generally. Like as an artist myself, they just don't understand. That's okay. But why so many rules in this? Because this is like a thing, a plein air. You didn't make this up.
No, we did not.
This is like a thing across the world, plein air events. And so that's where all these rules come from, right?
Correct.
What are all the rules? And are you abiding by all the rules of a plein air event?
We are fairly new. So For the most part, yes, we are abiding by all of those rules. But for the most part, it's just for those artists to brush up on their skills and to show that they can capture how the light hits day of. It's really a show of their craft and their take on what a hillside looks like that day, whether it's gloomy or bright and sunny, that they can capture that feeling of being there. We also invite people to come and watch them paint, because it's really unique when you sit there and watch those artists paint in the morning and then you come back to the reception and see, oh my goodness, I saw that. I saw the light hit like that and they captured it. Like, these artists are crazy talented. Even we have a youth section as well. So even the youth being able to capture shadow in the morning or afternoon or as the sun goes over, for them to be able to showcase that in an event like this is really, really unique.
That's fascinating. So this is a spectator sport,
Yes.
so to say. People are watching it actually happen. I like what you said about people being able to connect the scenery they saw, the light they saw, the environmental conditions they saw, with the artist that was painting them in real time. So the artist, are you setting up, like, do people bring lawn chairs then? Are they just setting up around these artists and watching?
Yes, you can. You can also interact with the artist. Now, I say, yes, you can interact with the artist, but be respectful of their time. But you can ask questions.
Yeah.
We are a very, very tourist-friendly community. So you accidentally stumble on tourists visiting with these artists, but they only have those 4 hours to create, but to sit and watch or to go around to all the different sites and see what people are creating, get a glimpse of what's going to be at that reception, and then to go back and see all the art that was created in one day is just really amazing.
Now, it's also a style too, because it's like paint only, right? And it's like it's kind of a, I don't want to say specific, but the Plein Air style. Like it's paint dabs. It's like a specific style, right? I don't know a ton about it.
Yeah, and I will admit I'm not an artist, so I don't understand all the nuances that go with it. We also have watercolor that's really unique. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
And to see a lot of those watercolors come out, I mean, I grew up doing watercolor in school and stuff, but they take watercolor to a whole other level. That the depth that they can create with those colors is just truly remarkable. And to see how they can throw shadows and stuff with watercolor along with the acrylics and all of that as well.
We have a place we like to go on vacation sometimes called Big Cedar Lodge. It's southern Missouri. And they had a plein air event. Now, I didn't know what this was at the time, but there was this little thing of art hanging in the gift shop. And now these are reproductions we bought, but they came from a plein air event. And I didn't even know that. And so when I was asking my wife, like, now what, how do these things work? She's like, you know, that piece of art above our piano, that's from that. She's like, that's the thing. I'm like, oh, I totally get it. There's a little bit of, it's like the artwork in one of these events is like very free flowing because they're moving pretty quickly. And some artists actually take tons of time because they need certain layers of paint to dry and then they come back to it later. But they don't have that option in this style. So at the, like you mentioned, is it like a 4 or 5 hour event then? People go off and watch, they can migrate between different artists. How much space is this covering?
Well, it's in a quadrant, and without giving away what that quadrant is this year, it's in a piece of Madison County. So you can hit all of the locations where the artists are easily within an hour drive to stop and visit with each one of them. Then in the evening, you can come back to the reception that's hosted at the Covered Bridges Winery to be able to then view all the art that's displayed on easels and then purchase a piece that speaks to you. We invite everyone from all walks of life, all communities to come and take a look at those works of art and support those artists.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this is that you're combining the event after. People can buy the original works, basically, because at this point, there's no time to reproduce them. What's interesting about this, as you talk, and I wasn't planning on asking you about this, but what's super fascinating is as we have more AI art, I wouldn't call AI art. It's I can get into the whole philosophical argument for AI, but as people are seeing what AI can do, people are like, oh my gosh, artists are in trouble. Like AI can create art. It can't. But what's fascinating about this is in the age of digital stuff and in the age of someone can just type a prompt and have art, air quotes for those not watching, created. This is totally different. This is like dialing up the authenticity and saying there were no assistant tools used in this. This was 100% authentic. This was you watching the artist, them selling you the work. Logically, that would tell us that these should not be popular because AI can just make things. But clearly humans want that authenticity. So do you see events like this, live events, live stuff like this being more popular, like live painting, plein air events being more popular because of technology?
Yes, I do. And I also think there's an experience that goes along with it. Being able to connect with that artist to see how they create that piece of work gives a different feeling to it. And AI will never be able to duplicate the feeling that art gives you. It can't show that depth and the right brush strokes and all of that you're going to see in all of this. You're also not going to see the paint that drips because they were rushing. Like some of those little human flaws that we have, AI is not going to duplicate that. So there's a piece of that in this that you're not going to see anywhere else. And I do think that people are going to they're not even going to realize what they're missing until they see an original work of art and be like, wow, I can tell that that was original and not done by AI. They may not be able to put words to it, but that's what it is.
Yeah. My prediction is actually that people being AI artists or recreating stuff with AI, what AI does really well is it's an incredible, sophisticated copy-paste tool. And what I predict people are going to do is they're going to use AI to create images and cool designs, and in that process, learn about art styles and want to go experience them firsthand. That's what I think is going to happen. And it's not actually an original thought because when recorded music came out, if you all don't remember, people thought that was the end of live music. Bands would die. No one would go to shows anymore. The opposite happened with recorded music. People went to more live shows. This ended up being an industry. The music industry, it's an industry now. It wasn't an industry before. So I would imagine that events like this are going to get more popular as more people experiment with art styles through AI tools. Is there a price range for I like how you're not even telling the artists where the location's going to be, so they have to be really on their toes. And then at the end, people can go buy this stuff. Is there a target price range, or do artists set that price range themselves?
The artists set their price range themselves. We want them to price it so that it can sell. So especially the artists that have been there before kind of know the price range to hit or the size of canvas to hit, because sometimes those really big pieces of work, they really don't sell because you need a homeowner or a business to have a large space to put that in. So a lot of them are doing the smaller works of art and then pricing it accordingly.
Sure, that's actually a good point, and like transporting it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's hard to do like a giant piece if you got a couple hours.
It is. It's cool. And that's where encouraging business owners, hotel owners, to come in and support those artists and get a unique one-of-a-kind artwork for your business or your Airbnb or whatever it is that you're decorating.
So people can walk from location to location to see other artists, or is this a drive kind of thing? It is a drive. So it is around the county then.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how much square footage do the bridges? 'Cause, I know it's shocking that you have covered bridges there.
Yes.
No one knows this, by the way.
Yes.
How great of a distance do the bridges themselves cover? Is it like within a square mile? Is it within 50 square? Like what are we dealing with here?
So if you went to all 6 bridges, it would be about 82 miles.
Oh, okay. They are spread out then.
They are.
Yeah, I guess I never imagined that they were that spread out.
I will say one of the bridges is one of our locations this year.
What? So this is interesting because I think people the Bridges of Madison County, the musical. I think people was it a book too? Wasn't it a book too?
Yep, movie.
Maybe, yeah, people are probably like, how do you not know that? I don't know everything on this show. I think people would naturally assume Plein Air Madison County is only the bridges. But you're saying one of them factors in there, but the rest do not.
We have more than just bridges.
Do you really?
We do. We have, old barns. We have livestock, the rolling hillsides. Madison County is more than just covered bridges. So we're showing that to our spectators that come to watch as well, so they can see just a little bit more of what we're about. Cool.
This is really fascinating. I encourage everybody to go because I think real live experiences, especially after the 2021, people have realized, this human connection is really popular or really, really powerful, and it's just one of those things we can't explain that well. But human connection through craft is extremely powerful. It's really awkward when you have people trying to communicate and you set two people in a room. Some people are intimidated, right? They don't know what questions to ask. But when you put a piece of art or craft in the mix and you have that talking point, all of a sudden conversations open up and people kind of discover connections they didn't know existed. I just got to interview Andrew Zimmern for a totally different project. He's a food guy and he's a world-class interviewer. And this is literally his hack. He's like, I love food, but that's my tool to interview people. That's the jump off point because it makes it less intimidating. So that's what you've done is you're creating this community event. I mean, there's a lot of layers here. So it's fascinating. I do want to talk about the bridges though, because they are this kind of, why are they covered? I have wanted to know this question, and now I have an expert in the studio. And it sounds crazy because I interview Iowans. That's part of my job. I don't know why they're covered. What is this? What's the deal?
Well, I wouldn't call myself an expert at all.
You're more of an expert than I
am. But my understanding is they became covered to help protect the part that you drive on.
Yeah, but everything around the bridge is frozen or rainy, right? So why do we need the bridge covered?
That's a great question.
No one knows? I need to find a bridge
sure
expert?
Someone knows, but I am not the expert on that.
What are we even doing here?
I know.
Goodness gracious. I wonder if it's just protect the bridge integrity or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And on some of the bridges, the wood goes on a diagonal for the engineering aspect of it, as opposed to just straight across. Each bridge is just slightly different. So if you haven't taken a look at all the 6 bridges, you can add that to your list of things to do when you're in Madison County.
I imagine that going over covered bridges in Madison County, because they were built in the 1830s, some of them, right? Is that right?
You are really testing my history very early in the morning.
Don't answer that then. They are old. They are old. I imagine that at the time, that was the equivalent of on your cell phone when people were crossing the bridge in a rainstorm. They would just stay there with their buggy and the person behind's like, bro, get going. He's like, yeah, but it's dry under this bridge. I wonder if that's why it didn't catch on, because it was actually slowing down commerce because people like the bridges too much.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
We can go with that.
Yeah, don't ask a real historian because then I'll look like an idiot. Don't Google this. Let's talk about the fall crawl because that's your next thing coming up.
That is actually not a chamber event. That remarkably is put together by a bunch of our agritourism and those that participate in our farmers market. So that is not a chamber affiliated event at all, but we gladly support it and help promote that in any way that we can.
No, but what is it? Because it's in your area, right?
Yes. So a lot of the agritourism farmers, so those that participate in our local farmers markets, they host spectators at their farm. So you can go to Speckled Hen Farm and visit the farm, and she may have other vendors there, a musician, a food truck, an artist. She'll invite other people to participate at her location. And then you can leave her farm and go to another farm and see a different artist and see their little operation of what they have going on.
Really?
So it's a way for you to step on the land where you see your farmer's market material being grown.
So it's basically a deconstructed farmer's market.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. And that is obviously Madison County area as well. Mm-hmm. How many farms to participate, roughly?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Okay.
they put out a map
This is
every year.
October, I think.
Yes, they put out a map and they list the locations you can go with what vendors are going to be there. Sometimes there's coffee trucks and food trucks from other towns. So really, if you're out and about that weekend, take a look at that Fall Crawl website with what events are going to be happening.
And then the last question I have before letting you go here is there is a Covered Bridge Festival in your area as well. Can you talk?
Yes.
Do you know about that? Little details on that? That's coming up a little, what is it? Couple months, I think.
Yep, it's October 10th, 11th.
Oh, 1 month? No, because it's September.
It's 5 weeks away.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, it is our big annual festival where we celebrate the history of the bridges. We bring in roughly 140 vendors. We shut down our town square. It draws about 15,000 people.
What?
It is a huge event. We have live entertainment. It is a $3 admission to get into the festival, but then the amount of activities you get to see is just really awesome. We have the Other Brothers are playing as our headliner on Saturday night from 5 to 7. Our courthouse is back to being our main stage. So on the south side of the courthouse is where all our bands are going to be playing. We have Festival Royalty, a king and queen that's been nominated for their service. We have so many wonderful things that are happening, and we're celebrating the anniversary of the movie this year.
Oh, really?
We are.
That's cool. I remember as a little kid, like I thought, oh, that would like, or was it my parents or someone took me to a musical or something? None of us knew what was going on, and of course, it was like the storyline's not exactly like
Yes.
kid friendly, and I was like, what?
Yeah, we actually got the rights to the musical.
Did you really?
We have someone coming to sing and doing an ensemble.
That's incredible.
Because we're like, hey, we are the Madison County, and
Yeah.
so they released that for us to be able to use and celebrate this year.
That's fascinating. Plein Air, Madison County is coming up September 21st. We've been talking to Sarah Pugh, the executive director of the Madison County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for coming in the studio. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for the invite.
Hey, everyone. Justin here. I get a lot of feedback about this show that a lot of you listen to it while you're at work or while you're driving for your job. So here's my question for you. What were to happen if right now you got clocked or you got severely injured or maybe even you died at work? What would your family do? Yeah, that's what I thought. You don't have an answer for that, do you? And so you're allowing them and you're putting them in a position where they're going to have to pick up all these pieces and figure it out during a traumatic experience. And if you're injured yourself, are you going to make good judgment calls when you're severely injured trying to figure out what to do? Probably not. Nate Bolton came into the studio. He's an Iowa workers' rights attorney to discuss this very topic. What are the options that people have, and should people be prepared for this now? And surprisingly, he had 20 minutes worth of advice for people and how to prepare for these things ahead of time. If you want to make sure your family is prepared in case something happens to you, you need to go listen to that whole show right now, iowapodcast.com/Nate. Again, that's iowapodcast.com/Nate. It's such a good discussion. And to my fellow Iowans, Iowa expats, and Iowans at heart, thanks for listening and subscribing to the Iowa Podcast.